This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you live and around the world from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the Mutual Broadcast Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, and the all-new IPBN Radio Network. If you'd like to send me an email, tin hats, too tight or not, X-Zone at xzoneradiotv.com on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV, and our website at www.xzoneradio.com. Before I get to my guest this hour, a very special guest, the one and only love psychic herself, Jill Dahne. I'd just like to remind each and every one of you that even when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, and Jeremy Scott, who follows me Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern until 1 a.m. Eastern here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. He does a great show, by the way, by the name of Dark 30. And every minute of the Mutual Broadcast Network day and night by calling 605-562-4204. And that is courtesy of TalkStream Live. No smartphone app or internet is needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Once again, call 605-562-4204 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. My guest this hour, Exonation, is the Love Psychic. She has made more love predictions than Carter has pills. She has made more correct psychic predictions than Orville Redenbacher has popped popcorn. Jill Dahne is her name, and joining me now from somewhere in the ether in Florida is my dear friend Jill Dahne. And Jill, how are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing phenomenal. How are you?
You're the psychic, you tell me.
I think you're on your way. You're doing amazing, and your shows are going to be syndicated into television, big television, and FM radio, so I'm so excited for you.
Well, that's
called the prediction.
Wow, and that's because I have good friends like you who come here and share the knowledge that people really need to hear, but not very many people want to, spread the good word around. So what's new with you, Jill?
What's new with me?
Yeah, what's new with you?
I am flying to Cuba in 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Because my major prediction since I was 21 years old has come into fruition. And I said that Cuba was going to be free and it's going to be paradise, and everyone's going to be able to build and buy land over there, and I saw cruises going over there, and I saw planes going over there. And what's so ironic was Eastern Airlines, before they went out of business, I always said, I see you going to Cuba, to the head president, and he said to me, that will never happen. Well, Eastern Airlines is the airlines that is flying to Cuba right now.
Wow. I've got to tell you something. My wife and I went to Cuba in December. I will never go to Cuba.
Wow.
I will never go to Cuba again. We had the worst time possible.
Really?
Really.
How bad was it?
Well,
how bad was it?
Well, I'm going to tell you, dear. It was so bad that after, well, it was a 7-day trip, right? We ended up spending 7 days in 3 different hotel rooms, 4 different hotel rooms, 2 different properties, and my wife came home very, very sick.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You know,
Well,
they have these...
I'm sorry that happened.
Oh, it's not your fault, honey. And yet I've spoken to many other friends of mine who've gone there, and they just can't say enough of it. So, I think a lot of it has to do where you go in Cuba, but I will say this. The people in Cuba are super. They are kind, they are down to earth, they are open, they are loving, and they are just great people.
I'm excited because if you fast forward a couple of years from now, the Radisson Hotel, all these new hotels will be there, and restaurants are going to be there. So it'll be a little different. They're up in the making, if I could say.
All right,
so
stand by,
if
sweet.
you go
Stand by, sweetie. We've got to take our first commercial break. Jill Dane is our very special guest, the one and only Jill Dane. www.jilldane.com. And Jill and I will be back on the other side of this 2-minute break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is Kevin Randall. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now in Roswell in the 21st century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at www.drgibbswilliams.com.
Shamanism is recognized as a method to access the quantum level. Mastery of shamanic skills puts spiritual information and healing power into your hands. Path Home Shamanic Art School, a bonded Colorado certified occupational school, has met rigorous state standards, ensuring its director and instructors have the qualifications to teach the shamanic arts. Path Home offers its certification program in blocks of study. Block 1, a 5-day intensive, will be held in the beautiful mountain town of Coaldale, Colorado, October 13th through 18th. Registration deadline is September 12th. Experience Journey Trance, Power Animals, Helping Spirits, Sacred Space, and Life Purpose. Come discover your power. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, in the magical world of shamanism. Call 303-775-3431 or visit findyourpathhome.com.
Welcome back, everyone. The one and only Jill Dahne is my very special guest this hour. www.jilldahne.com. By the way, Jill, how is your mom doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much for asking. She's doing phenomenal. She just did another television segment, which is very interesting. It's about a case that she solved. So that's going to be airing in September. So I'll let you all know.
All right. Jill, big topic these days. We've been watching with great interest what is happening on the other side of the yet-to-be-built wall between Canada and the United States. By the way, that's just a bad joke. There'll never be a wall between us because we are best friends.
Never.
And what is your take on what's happening in the political arena between Hillary, Bernie, and Donald?
Well, it's going to be Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump.
Definitely.
That's what it's going to be. And I'm sorry to say Hillary Clinton is going to win.
Wow. Why are you sorry
As
to
I
say?
said, I'm sorry to say.
Why
Well,
are you...
I'm all for women's rights.
Sure. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm all for women's rights, but I love Donald Trump. I love who he is. I had the pleasure to meet him many times, and I think he's a wonderful person, and I believe that he has great ideas for our country, especially financially, for all, for everybody. So, that's why I said I'm sorry.
After all, as I was saying to our previous guest, every country is a business, and it takes a business person to get a business back into shape, to create jobs, to create commerce, to create trade. And so far, using the political arena to pick your winner from certainly hasn't been working in most cases.
Right.
Yeah.
In most cases, but I believe a lot of it's going to be a very close run, very, very close run, because a lot of women want Hillary, and a lot of other people want Donald Trump. So I believe it's going to be a very catchy close case.
I think it's
very close.
I think it's going to be a very dirty mudslinging election.
You said it instead of me. you got that right.
That's
very dirty. Yeah. Very dirty.
Listen, you are undoubtedly the only love psychic, and I'm going to ask you a love psychic question here. How do you see Bill and Hillary in the future? Will Monica Lewinsky come back to haunt the two lovey-dovey Clintons?
I don't see them coming back. I don't see her coming back. Matter of fact, she's supporting Hillary right now. She is supporting Hillary Clinton.
You're kidding.
Yes.
Wait a sec.
She's supporting her.
Wait a sec. Hold on here. I've just got my glasses fogged up here. If I had a pacemaker.
Mine too. Mine too.
Like, holy cow! What is going on in the world? So the woman who nearly cost Clinton the White House and nearly caused an impeachment is now being supportive of the wife of the person that she had a sexual relationship in the washroom in the White House with.
Yes, and who saved her clothes for evidence. Yes, she is supporting Hillary Clinton.
I always thought
Isn't that ironic?
It is. It is. Like, I thought I came up with a great idea after the entire fiasco was over. I thought that Monica Lewinsky should have been the spokesperson for a harmonica company, which is also known as a mouth organ. They could have called it a harmonica.
True. But also, I'm like shocked by this as well, because every position Monica would apply for and get, all of a sudden would be fired.
Really?
So, and that was one right after another. So here she is supporting them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. That's life. That's what happens with all women, though. When you are in love, and I believe she's still in love, love makes you do many, many crazy things. That's for everybody.
Well, I know what love did.
You know, when you break up with someone, or someone breaks up with you, and you're still in love with them,
right?
Your heart's still there. You're not in lust. You're in love. So your heart's still there. So you could do whatever it takes, thinking maybe she could come back around, like you brought that up.
But I don't believe that Monica Lewinsky is now supporting Hillary Clinton.
Yes, she is.
Now I've heard
supporting
everything.
Her.
Now I've heard everything. And leave it to Jill.
I thought I heard everything.
Wow.
I was in shock when I heard that too.
You know,
I was in total shock.
I every time I see Bill on TV, he doesn't look well, and yet, according to all the media reports, depending on which media you want to believe, some say that he is deathly ill, and others say he's very fine. You, as being love psychic, what is your feeling?
He is perfectly fine.
Oh, good.
I am not worried about Bill Clinton. He's going to be living a very, very long life. And that's why I don't listen to the tabloids. There are a lot of times where you could hear this one's getting divorced, like Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. And to be honest, they're true soulmates. They're so much in love. They have so much more. But all you see all over the tabloids right now is divorce, $500 million divorce,
right?
And they laugh at that because they're in love. So that's why I turned the news off.
You know, unfortunately, Jill, the news industry is so different from when I started in broadcasting this show 25 years ago. It is so different. Now the mantra is, if it don't bleed, it don't lead.
Correct. That's why I only watch Law and Order, your favorite show as well.
That's right. That's right. Bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum, 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 bum.
But on a good note, medical marijuana, my prediction from when I was 18 years old, is coming around. And when I told at the Epilepsy Foundation when I was 18 with Dr. Brian Weiss and the head of epilepsy and all these prestigious people that were waiting to hear me speak, I said, pot, I used the word pot, is going to cure epilepsy. And that's what's happening right now. And I do believe cannabis is going to help the soldiers with PTSD as well.
It makes perfect sense.
So a lot of people. Yeah. So I encourage everyone, because by 2000, my prediction was back in 2009, by 2018-19, I'm predicting that marijuana is going to be passed in every single state, and everyone should be buying into marijuana stock. That's where you're going to make your money.
Well, you know, it's why the government hasn't legalized it before, I believe, Jill, is because it goes against Big Pharma. And Big Pharma puts a lot of money into a lot of pockets. And marijuana, hemp, does a lot of good.
Very good. It's helping a lot of elderly people right now. They're using cannabis, and it's helping them for their pains in their body. It's doing wonders. See, I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't have any of that in my body. But as a prediction, I see this happening where it's going to help many people in all circumstances, just like stem cell. When I was in Canada, back in 1989, and I was on a TV show, City TV, with my mother. I just saw the name in front of me. I didn't even know what embryonic was, and I saw the name embryonic. So when they asked me, what is you're saying embryonic? And I'm like, yes, embryonic stem cell. I didn't know what it was. I just saw it. And I said, that's going to cure so many people. And fast forward, that's what's happening. And my prediction as well is that many people who are doctors are going to have to go back to school to study stem cell research, because people are going to be able to get prescriptions for stem cell.
Jill, what has been your most riveting prediction that many people thought that you had lost it, but you proved them wrong?
Gay marriages. Same-sex marriages. I don't mean to say gay. Same-sex marriages.
Right.
They asked me what I was smoking. There were many. I mean, I have so many predictions that everyone thought I was like on drugs myself. Mm-hmm. Especially when I said marijuana would be passed. They were like, okay, what are you smoking? When I was in New York, when I made those predictions. And they're like, what are you on right now? And I said, you test my body. I don't do drugs. I don't put pills. I don't even put antibiotics in my body. I don't believe in drugs. But those were some of them where they said, I'm crazy. Just like Cuba, my Latin women and men would say, Jill, to your mouth, to God's ears, it will never happen. And I said, never say never. It will happen. And that's what's happening. Cuba, marijuana, same-sex marriages. Who would think that same-sex marriages would ever happen? And it's happened. Also, when I made a prediction about, I saw African-American running against a woman.
Right.
And I didn't know what it was. And they said, that will never happen. They thought I was crazy then. So when you throw out these predictions and people say, Jill, you're out of your mind, mm-hmm. and then it happens 10 years later, because it was 10 years in advance when I said that. There was Obama running with against Hillary Clinton at the time, and I predicted Obama.
You know, here in Canada, we are very loyal subjects to the crown, Queen Elizabeth II. So, you know, it doesn't shock us here in Canada to have a woman as the head of state. When it comes to our prime ministers here in Canada, we've only had one woman, and she did not do the women's cause very good as a prime minister. But when we look throughout history, Jill, you've got Queen Victoria, you have Queen Elizabeth, you have Cleopatra, you have Margaret Thatcher, and the list goes on and on and on. So when it comes to women ruling the roost, I know for a fact they do it well. We've got to take a commercial break with the news. Jill Dahne is our guest, www.jilldahne.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, High Tech with Corey Kay, and every minute of the 24/7, 365 programming of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 712-432-9459, courtesy of TalkStream Live. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 712-432-9459 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 712-432-9459 for the best of paranormal, new age, thought-provoking, sci-fi radio programming 24/7, 365.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money in abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we'll weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man song.
He's the man. He's the man.
I don't take no crap from anybody else but you. I wear the pants around here when I finish with your laundry. Cause I'm a guy you don't want to fight. When I say jump, you say yeah right. I'm the man of this house until you get home.
He's the man. He's the man.
What I say goes around here, right out the window. And I don't want to hear a lot of whining, so I'll shut up. The sooner you learn who's boss around here, the sooner you can give me my orders, dear. Because I'm head honcho around here, but it's all in my head.
He's the man. He's the man.
And I can have sex anytime that you want. Because I'm a man who has needs, but they're not that important. And don't expect any flowers from me, because if I'm not mistaken, you prefer jewelry. I'm the king of my castle when you're not around.
He's the man. He's the man.
And I'll drink and watch sports whenever I want to get in trouble. And I'll come home when I'm good and ready to sleep on the couch. Because a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and I'm going to do what you tell me to, because I'm top dog around here, but I've been neutered.
He's the man. He's the man. You the man.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. That, I think, should be Bill Clinton's new theme song. I really do. My guest this hour is my very special friend, the one and only Jill Dahne, who is truly the world's love psychic. And you can find out all about Jill by going to her website at www.jilldahne.com. Jill, what else do you see in the future that, we should keep our eyes open for?
I made a prediction. Thank you for asking. I made a prediction about bionic eyes and head implants. I made this prediction 10 years ago, and I kept this prediction going. I've gotten many, many emails on it, and it's in the works right now. So I'm really excited about that. Have you heard about that yet?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And I believe a couple of years ago on this very show, you were talking about that. And, you know, I have to ask you, Jill, where do you get this information from that is so spot on?
It's like a video. I could see everything about a person, or with predictions, they'll just come to me like it's like right in front of me. So I write them down, and I try to give it out to the media or through radio, and that is media, and through lectures. So everyone, there are times where I forget that I made certain predictions. People contact me and say, "Oh, Jill, do you remember you made this prediction about George Clooney having a baby, and now in the news they're saying that they're getting divorced, and then they say they're having a baby." So that's another couple that's very much in love. How I know, because I don't watch the news. Just recently on my own radio show on Sunday, I said to everybody, Florida, please be careful, take in everything. It's going to be like a tropical storm all over Florida. Next thing you know, there was a tropical storm come Monday. People started calling me saying, "Oh my God, there's a tropical storm coming." That's how I find out about my predictions.
Son of a gun.
Through the words. But I also want to say that there are new technologies that are out. There's new cures that I've made these predictions besides stem cell and besides marijuana. There's new cures that are coming out, especially for Alzheimer's. And I made a prediction on your show a while back about Alzheimer's. And that's why with all these new technologies, people are going to be living longer. Even animals will be living longer. People are becoming more healthier. It's different than it was 20 years ago. People are more in tune with their body. They're about exercise, putting what's good in their mouth, vegetables, raw vegetables, steamed vegetables, staying away from red meat. I made this prediction years and years ago. I haven't had red meat in my body since I was 14 years old, because I said they inject all these hormones and red dye in a lot of red meat. So I said to stay away from red meat if you can, and processed meat, because my prediction was, this is me saying this, that I believe it causes cancer. So someone called me a couple of months ago to tell me, "Oh my God, Jill, your prediction was on, I think it was on CNN, that breaking news that red meat and processed meat causes cancer."
Yeah.
So a lot of people are now eating healthier, watching themselves, and the more they do that, the more that they won't have any illnesses. They'll be healthier as well.
Exonation, my guest this hour is the one and only Jill Dahne. Her website is www.jilldahne.com. Jill, I've known you for many years, many years. We've had great talks over the years. I know and I trust and I believe you. But how do other people deal with you, and how do you deal with skepticism?
I love skepticism. I love them. Matter of fact, I'll just give you an example since you just brought that up. Just several months ago, 6 years ago, a person called me and wanted to know about a certain person. So I said, "I'm sorry, you have to close the door and open a new door," which I saw him doing.
Right.
Well, no one wants to hear that, because when you're in love, who wants to close the door? You want that person. But everyone doesn't seem to understand. Once you really close that door tight, a new door opens, or if you see red flags, a new door, you got to let go of those red flags and, don't continue for the second or the third or the fourth. So with this gentleman, everything, he called me every name in the world. I'll never forget this one. I never had this happen. Never had this happen in my life. So I'm like, okay. I said, just let me know. You're going to meet this person. I gave a name, a birthday, not a birthday, the sign of the person he was going to meet. Well, he did not want to hear that. He wanted to hear the person that he was in love with. Fast forward, a few months ago, I'm playing my messages. Hi, Jill. My name is Jeff. I don't know if you remember me, which I'm pretty sure you did. I'm pretty sure you will. I want to apologize to you. You are absolutely correct. I did not want to know. I did not want to listen to you. The person that you predicted I've been dating for the past year, I'm giving her an engagement ring.
Wow.
Okay? So it's amazing. I said, I want to write a book. How do you know this? I wish I would have listened, or I should have listened. That's what I want. That's what I want to write a book next. No one wants to hear. Like that person's not for you, because when you're in love and that's who you want. But when the person, I always say to someone, if you're the one doing the texting, if you're the one doing the calling, if you're the one doing all the planning. That person is not into you. There is someone else out there that is into you. Just this past year alone, and I'm not kidding, I just went to a wedding last weekend. And I went to a wedding in February of a person that was the head of Borders bookstore. Her name is Rochelle. And when she came to see me, she was 30 years old. She didn't want to hear she's not getting married till she's 53. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't see you getting married till you're 53. And I always tell everyone, what I say, put in one hand, and you live your life. So that's what she did, but I saw her meeting a Todd. Fast forward, 9 years ago, she met Todd. They lived together for 9 years, and I just went to her wedding on her 52nd birthday.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful?
I love those stories. And just recently, I was doing a lecture a few weeks ago, and someone came up to me, and I always say I want an invitation. And a person came up to me and said, oh, Jill, meet my husband. You predicted him. So I posted it on Facebook, and they had a huge rainbow in back of them as they were getting married on an island. And I posted a picture. And I'm like, where's my invitation? We're supposed to be there. So, and there's many more weddings coming ahead, which I'm really excited about. But then not everybody gets married. A lot of people have Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell relationships where they're married without a piece of paper, and they're a lot happier.
If it's not broken, don't break it. You know what I mean? Like, don't do Don't break it. Just leave it the way it is. Right. That's
communication.
Right.
If you don't have communication and you don't have a friendship, you don't have a relationship. Communication, not texting, talking on the phone, is the most important in a relationship besides the passion. You have to have friendship, passion, communication. If you don't have those, you do not have a relationship. And so that's why I'm flying out to Texas in 2 weeks. They're forming a love app, the Jill Dane Love App.
Wow. The Jill Dane Love App. Fascinating,
yes,
Jill.
You're the first to know.
That's my girl. That's my girl. Listen, Jill, to your knowledge, are there any statistics out that show the percentage of divorces or split-ups or breakups that are being caused by too much texting and not enough one-on-one communication?
I believe I've seen many. That's what I'm a medical intuitive. Yeah. I solve murder cases. I'm a business consultant. I consult major businesses, but my major, what I've done my whole life is about relationships.
Right.
So millions of people I've spoken to, and I could say a big percent, you could say 40%, and I'm going to say that, is due to breakups, is due about texting.
My goodness. I remember when Facebook and the other social medias started up, a lot of people were finding old flames on the internet, and this was causing a number of breakups as well. There seems to be a lot of deceit that people use the internet for.
Oh, not even the internet. A lot of people with their cell phones.
Yeah.
I have clients that, if it's a man or a woman, and if they're dating someone else while they're married, they'll put it under a gentleman's name, under a female name. If it's a woman and they're dating a man, seeing a man on the side, they'll put it under another female name. So if their spouse or their boyfriend looks at their phone, and if anyone has to look at their phone, then that's not trust to begin with. You should not be in that relationship. But they'll put it under another female name, and a man will put it under another man's name. So the woman will think, oh, that's his friend. All those calls are to his friend. But a lot has to do with workplaces, too, or when men are traveling, they meet women as well. Not all, but majority of them.
Jill,
it's
love
a cruel world.
It is. And my next question, Jill, is one of national security. With everything that is going on in the Middle East, everything that is going on in North Korea, with everything that's going on with China, what do you see for the security of the United States of America and Canada?
With Canada and the United States, I'm seeing we are going to be fine. There's always going to be threats, and they're going to be thwarted. But with this, I'm just still worried. The only one thing I am still worried, and I've been saying it all along, is airplanes. And also, I made a prediction years ago about New Orleans, that Saudi Arabia is going to be having submarines made, and I saw them being made in Louisiana or New Orleans, and then I get a phone call when I threw that prediction out on an FM station. I threw that prediction out. I received calls, private calls,
right?
That's what's happening right now. So that's my only concern is the water and the planes still. But I'm seeing that we're going to catch on to it. I've always said fly JetBlue or Air Canada. Air Canada is the safest plane to fly. I said that all along. Or JetBlue.
Yeah,
and I got in trouble for that too, because I said even though I predicted American Airlines stock, I told everyone to buy it, and I saw it going bankrupt, and I saw it merging with U.S. Air when no one knew it was going to even merge. And I said on my own show, I said, don't fly American or United. And people were canceling their planes, and we got phone calls saying that I had to stop saying that. So when people would say, what plane should I fly? I would say fly Air Canada or fly JetBlue.
There's two airlines that I would like to tip my hat off, because I agree with you when it comes to Air Canada. I've never been on JetBlue. But there's also WestJet that is headquartered here in Hamilton, Ontario. They have great flights, as well as Air Transat, because whenever Laura and I fly out of Toronto to our vacation spots down south, we always use Air Transat, and the service and the quality, you can't beat it.
Oh, I never heard of that. Where does that fly out to?
My gosh, let me see. We take Air Transat. We've taken Air Transat to from Toronto to the Dominican Republic to Jamaica. It's great airlines.
I have to note that, but you
Sure.
have to realize there's always going to be one or two, sickos out there. I call them.
Of course, yeah.
That always want to harm every one of our countries, and I still see a lot of things happening in. I'm picking up something with Spain around, you could say, September time, which I'm worried about, but they're going to handle it very well.
Jill, my dear friend, you and I have to take our final break for this hour. Please stand by. Exonation, my guest this hour, the one and only Jill Dahne. And Jill and I will be back as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And you're listening to us live and around the world right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, and the all-new IPBN Radio Network. By the way, if you like New Age music and you want to listen to some soothing, creative, inspirational music, www.ipbnmusic.com. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. Don't go away.
This is Johanna Carroll, host of Dialogue with Divinity on the X-Zone Broadcast Network. While walking along Kaanapali Beach in Maui this past year, I kept discovering all these shells and coral in the shape of hearts. My dialogue with Divinity was very simple. Do you want me to do a retreat to heal people's hearts in Maui next year? And of course, the answer was yes. As a master spiritual teacher, I am offering you a neat retreat called Rise, May 8th through the 12th, 2017, and the chance of a lifetime to rest at a 5-star resort for 5 days and experience a spiritual renewal of your heart and soul. Kaanapali is one of the top 5 beaches in the world. This stunning resort has undergone a $40 million renovation. I walked the entire property, checked out the room choices on your behalf, and I must say it is stunning. Our conference room faces the ocean with sliding glass doors. Maui is known as Mother Maui because it is a soft, gentle, healing energy. In the embrace of Mother Maui, you will feel yourself rising from the limitations of an ordinary life to an extraordinary journey of peace, bliss, and harmony. A greater sense of clarity. Our Rise retreat ignites renewal in the sacred elements of air, water, earth, fire, and wind. There's plenty of free time to enjoy all that Maui has to offer. A small deposit is required now to reserve your space, as this retreat, it will sell out. For more details, please go to johannacarroll.com and register today. Aloha, and I'll see you in mystical Maui.
Coming soon to the X-Zone Broadcast Network is a different perspective with me, Kevin Randall, as your host. We'll be taking a close look at what is happening in the world of UFOs today with side trips into the paranormal. Guests will range from those who are household names to those who have a different perspective on a variety of topics. No topic will be taboo, but there will be tough questions asked as we all search for the truth about UFOs, the paranormal, and those things that excite us. Sometimes we'll agree with a guest and sometimes we won't, but we'll try to keep the program topical. For those of you who would like to read, be sure to visit www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com and remember to listen to the other fine programs on the X-Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net.
Afterlife expert Roberta Grimes was the first one to say that dying can be fun. Now her best-selling book, The Fun of Dying, is available in stores worldwide. So if you wonder whether death ends life, how it feels to die, or what heaven might be like, The Fun of Dying was written for you. And if you have always been afraid of death, or if you worry that your life has no meaning, let The Fun of Dying ease your fears and bring new meaning to your life. Nothing said in The Fun of Dying is based on the teachings of any religion. Instead, Roberta draws on evidence to explain how death happens, how it feels, and what comes next. A lot of the best death-related evidence was produced in the first half of the 20th century. When it is put together with recent discoveries, it tells a consistent and amazing story. Roberta Grimes blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Her wonderful book, The Fun of Dying, is available on Amazon and at stores worldwide wherever books are sold.
As host of Dialogue with Divinity, I am thrilled to join the X-Zone Broadcast Network and their growing number of affiliates. My quest for a connection to the divine ignited my successful career path as an international spiritual counselor for over 40 years, an author of 4 books, and well-known metaphysical educator. My clients call me their spiritual mama. So my job is to offer you a radio show to help you grow spiritually with wisdom and get specific tools from guests who are experts in their field. Tune in to Dialogue with Divinity and be part of the conversation with Spirit. My goal, your happy soul. For more information, please visit my website at johannacarroll.com.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, the one and only love psychic. Jill Dahne is our special guest this hour. If you'd like to contact Jill for a private one-on-one consultation, or if you'd like to read her fascinating website, www.jilldahne.com. Jill, I forgot to ask you a very important question. How's your son?
Oh, my God. Thank you for asking. He got signed with Atlantic Records to write music. Yes, and Adele's producer just produced 10 of his songs.
That is...
I just met with... Is that amazing?
It is. It is.
His music's going to be on the airways very shortly. I'm so excited. So thank you. Thank you for asking. You're going to hear all about Jimmy Levy everywhere.
Do you think you can scoff... Do you think you can scoff me a CD?
Oh, of course. They call him. He was with Usher and Chris Brown and Flo Rida a month ago, and they call him the white boy. They call him the white boy. They said this white boy is it. Wow. So I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud. But can I throw out a prediction so it's first on your show?
Sure, anytime, dear.
Okay, I want to, first on radio, I want to say Taylor Swift will be getting engaged this year, as long as you'll be hearing engagement for 2017 of Kylie Jenner and Tiger, and Caitlyn will be finding a new love, which will be a man. So I just had to throw that out. Oh, and one other thing, Kate and William will be expecting baby number 3. We'll be hearing about it for 2017.
Aren't they a beautiful couple?
I love that. Remember, we predicted them on your show first. It was your show first.
My gosh. How many years do we go back? I've been doing the show 25 years, so I think it must be at least 20 years, Jill.
20 years. Way back, we predicted a Diana's wedding.
That's right.
I said they were going to have a Diana's wedding and a ring just like her, and they're soulmates. Talk about soulmates. They are true soulmates. You're going to see them 90 years old together.
God, a real fairy tale wedding, a real fairy tale kingdom. What more can you ask
just
me?
Like you.
Oh.
Just like you.
Don't get me blushing now, Jill. Don't get me blushing. Jill,
it's
Jill, what do you have? What words of wisdom do you have for the X-Zone Nation tonight? We've got about a minute left here.
Regardless that you may hear of doom and gloom, there's always sunshine that always shines. Always remember that. And you'll always be safe. You'll always be safe. There's the world is still going to be wonderful, and it's still here. It's never going to go anywhere. And always surround yourself with wonderful souls like yourself. If something is wrong in your life, there's always a reason. There's always, something good always comes after something bad. Always remember that. Everything in life is timing.
My mother has a saying, when one window closes, another one opens.
Right. As one door closes, another door opens. It's so true. And once you start believing in yourself, everyone should start believing in themselves. Everyone has amazing intuition. They have to use it instead of second-guessing themselves. and believing in themselves and loving themselves. And once they start loving themselves, real love will come into their lives. Always remember that.
Sure, because if you can't love yourself, no one else can.
That is so true. It is so true.
Jill, always a great pleasure talking to you. My congratulations to you for all the great work you're doing. Please give my very best to your son and tell him that he's got a proud fan up here in Canada. And always, hello to your mom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I just love you.
We love you too. Exonation, Jill Dahne has been my guest. I'll be back tomorrow night as once again we cross the airwaves here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Good night, everyone.